Thanks for joining us for the Member xCite presentation. The Member xCite presentation is informative, interesting to the audience, and showcases the strengths of the presenter as an entrepreneur and their area of expertise. It's not a sales pitch, it's a 10-minute educational and insightful exploration into what they do. And of course, it's exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, your xCite presenter today is Russell Cummings from Shift. Russell is going to be sharing with us on the 25-point business survival plan. The impact of the virus will vary wildly across businesses, and as a result, there is no one-size-fits-all solution. However, Russell believes that being proactive rather than reactive is the key. And to help you with this, Russell has compiled a survival guide that will outline the 25 tasks you should consider implementing across your business in the very near future. Russ has over 34 years experience as an advisor to business, industry and government, and he specialises in helping dynamic family businesses that want to grow. His client base includes Bundaberg Brewed Drinks, Shine Lawyers, Morgan Stockbrokers, and numerous small business clients. For his sins, Russ also coaches 68 business advisors across Australia, New Zealand, and the UK on how to deliver more value to their clients. He is happily married to Ndua, and they have two beautiful daughters, 18 and 20 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Russell Cummings.
I've actually changed the topic of my talk a bit just on recent events lately. I'm finding people are more interested in, we've done some stuff on setting up a disaster plan and a 25-point plan for that, but got a lot of stuff now around people wanting to work out how they pivot and make some changes and adapt. So I thought I'd quickly take you through some of that. So at the moment, I'm just talking to people about, we're in this phase where we need to be thinking about survival. What are we going to do? And part of that is about being able to pivot, which is being able to change directions if you need to, and or adapt. So part of that is about how we adapt and change to what we're doing. And then also setting ourselves up to thrive in this post-corona environment. It's not going to last forever. And I think there's going to be pent up demand when we come out of it for lots of businesses. So it's probably important that we think about those things. So just to start off, a bit of a process I'm getting people to do is to think about the current business environment for them and their business, and just use this simple value chain model where we look at who are our current suppliers and what's happening for them, and are there any challenges for that? What's happening with our industry, with the competition and other people around us? Are we seeing them disappearing? What's going on? Will there be opportunities drop out of that for us? If we've got, either channels to market or direct customers. So if you sell a retail product, consumer product, you might sell it through, say, Woolworths or Coles or some other direct supplier. They become your direct customer, and then you've got end consumers. And what's happening with all those groups? Because I'm finding lots of people are thinking their end consumers actually running out of money, therefore their direct customers are not buying things off them. So we've got to think about how we might pivot and change. First step for some of this stuff is a really simple tool. It's called a business model canvas, developed by a guy called Osterwalder. My website, we've got videos on just how to navigate this, but it's a really simple process that basically says, who's our target clients, what sort of relationships we have with them, what's our value proposition for those, and then what are the channels we market to. That feeds down into some revenue streams. You can then say, if this is our value proposition, what are the key activities, the key partnerships, and the key resources we need to deliver that, which feeds into a cost structure. And it's a really simple way just to get your head around the elements of your business, because once you've laid this out, then we can start thinking about how we're going to pivot and change, and how can we use these resources in a different way. One of my challenges at the moment is I find that there are just so many copycat businesses out there that people have set up their business to be a physiotherapist, and all they've done is had an entrepreneurial seizure, raced out the door, set up a business just like every other physiotherapist. So they charge the same way, they've got the same products and services, they do the same marketing, they do the same everything. The only thing that's different is often the name of the business. So think about your business. Are you just being a copycat, and what are some of the things you might be able to change? And so we can really then start to just think about how you differentiate your business. And for me, this differentiation piece is probably the really important part of this, because what we're starting to think about. So I'm just moving some of the windows around here. Is the first thing is, if we're gonna think about how we adapt to this current situation, is who's your target market or your avatar? And for lots of people, their target market at the moment is either it doesn't have the cash available to help them out, or is in a shutdown mode, all sorts of things going on. And so, can we actually service a different target market? What could we do with our resources and maybe service a different target market? So I've got a food processor I work with at the moment. We normally supply the airlines. They're not doing too much business. Major hotels not doing too much business unless they're full of coronavirus people. But we're now pivoting to see and starting to work with hospitals, aged care facilities, that sort of stuff, who are short on staff and need some help in the kitchen. So we're providing food products for them. So can you pivot your target market, same product to a different group? Second thing to think about then is, can you pivot your products or your services? So if what can we do in this space? So, if your current product or service is not in demand, what other things can you do? And I've got clients who are video production photography experts. They're pivoting around to help, people like gyms and stuff put together online programs, and Pilates groups and that sort of stuff, put together online programs so that they can, online training programs even, so that they've got something to market in a different way to different people. So what sort of products or services can you do? The gin distilleries have done it by producing alcohol-based hand sanitizers. There's a wetsuit factory here on the Gold Coast that's gone from making wetsuits to making bamboo face masks. So what sort of things can you be doing to with your products and services to change things around? Can you change your pricing? It might be just something simple you can do. And there's two things to think about with pricing. One is the level of price. So what is the actual price in terms of dollars for your service? And how do you charge for that? And then the second way, is how you charge for that. So you might need to modify that. Some businesses I'm talking to at the moment, where we've gone into sort of, they're into hibernation mode, or they're in a startup phase and just don't have enough clients to sustain them in any way, shape, or form. My suggestion to them is, particularly if they're a service industry, is you might want to actually take this as an opportunity to deliver services for free to people. And what you can do in that space then is actually build a track record and a client base. They haven't paid for your services, but you certainly get yourself out there, and all you're expending is a bit of time. So I'm not saying you do it for everybody, but maybe for selected people, or maybe you do want to do it for everybody. So think about your pricing and what you can do. Lastly, we need to be thinking about delivery mechanisms, and how you can deliver your product or service. The obvious ones are, if you have a product, can you go click and collect? Can you go, people come and pick it up from the factory or wherever you're making it from? So I was speaking to some people who, if you're interested in persimmons, persimmon growers in just out of Sydney, they would sell a large proportion of their product through the paddy's markets and those sorts of things. They're now going to move to a home delivery system, or you can drive out to the farm and buy it from the farm gate. So there's, they're looking at different models which they haven't looked at in the past. Restaurants doing, complete takeaway and all those sorts of things. So what are the sort of delivery options that you might take? And, for people like myself, I've moved very much from face to face to an online delivery mechanism. So just think about that sort of stuff. I must admit, I do a lot of online stuff anyhow, so it's not been a big change. And then lastly, how do you package all this up and create some packages that are going to differentiate your business? So I'm not talking about packaging here. I'm talking about, in terms of boxes and wrapping, I'm talking about how do you package up your product service with the right price and delivery to get yourself some traction in the marketplace. And then, of course, you've got to think about marketing and all the other stuff that goes beyond that. How do we then take this product to market? And that's something we could talk about another time. Got a couple of minutes left. So what am I doing here? So next steps from here, I think, I would just start with this business model canvas, map out a bit of a business, your current business, how it fits. There's a video on my website on how to do that. Lots of free resources there. We'll talk about that in a sec. So please jump in and do that. If you really want to think about some being a bit innovative and a bit different, there's a process we use called the 7 R's of process innovation, which just give you some frameworks to be thinking about the 7 R's, and and how you can be more innovative in what you do. As I said, we've got a 25-point business survival guide. Please download that. Heaps of free resources in there to put that together for you. We're about to launch this free online training courses. So I've got not over 30. I've just worked it out. I've got about 29 that are relevant. I've got a heap of custom courses for clients that I do. So you'll be able to do 2 free online courses for either you or your team. Anybody in your business can do up to 2 courses, and you've got 6 months to complete them. Best way to register for that is just go to the website, register to get the 25-point business survival guide, and then you'll be in the mailing list then, and we'll keep you up to date. And then lastly, as I mentioned, really happy to have a 30 to 60-minute call with anybody to help them through this current environment. Just either flick them straight to me on my phone, or you can use this link here, which will take you to my diary, and you can book a 30-minute call with me. Okay, guys. So thanks very much. Really appreciate it. Difficult times ahead, challenging for lots of businesses, and I think it's something we can do to move forward, and I guess help everybody come out the other side. Remember, there will be a recovery. So if your business is a bit down at the moment, make sure you spend a little bit of time to start thinking about what that recovery is going to be, and get yourself set up and ready to go, so that when it comes with a rush, you'll be ready to take it on. Okay. Thanks, guys.